Welcome back to simultaneous linear equations in two variables of class 9. In this class we are going to learn about cross multiplication method to solve those equations. You have the two equations in the form a1x plus b1y equals to minus c1 and the second equation as a2x plus b2y equals to minus c2. You need to convert those two equations in these forms. Okay, so everything on the left hand side and the right hand side is just 0. After writing it in those two forms, what you are going to do is the next step is to rearrange the coefficients only. Remember, only the coefficients. So be careful when you are writing, you have to start with the middle coefficient. Okay, so b1 and then going in the clockwise direction b1 c1, then going back to a1 and again b1. So just follow that pattern, b1 c1 a1 and b1. Okay, b1 c1 a1 and again b1. So bcab, that's a pattern. For the second equation also we do the same thing, b2 c2 a2 b2. Now once you have arranged the coefficients, just follow this procedure. Okay, you can draw a single line also, that doesn't matter. What you are going to do is you are just going to cross multiply the coefficients, like b1 into c1, then b2 into c1, c1 into a2, c2 into a1, a1 into b2, a2 into b1. Okay, so you're going to cross multiply the coefficients in those manner. Now the next step is writing it in the form like x by. Okay, so you are just multiplying b1 with c2. So first you have to go downward and write it b1 c2, and then you go in the upward direction b2 c1, and you subtract the second term from the first one. Understood? That is the process. Now with the y also we have the same thing, c1 into a2 first in the downward direction, c1 a2, you subtract the upward direction multiplication. Okay, so c2 a1, and then the final one 1 by a1 into b2, the downward direction from a1 to b2, a1 into b2, minus the upward one a2 b1. Okay, so this is the process. And equate all this. Once you have those three expressions, you can just choose any of the two expressions. Like with x, we are going to choose this. We cannot choose x and y. These two expressions should not be chosen because we have x and y, two variables. So in the first one we are going to choose this and this. So we get x by b1 c2 minus b2 c1 equals to 1 by a1 b2 minus a2 b1. Okay, so we get x equals to, this whole thing goes to the numerator part, so we have b1 c2 minus b2 c1 whole thing by a1 b2 minus a2 b1. Okay, similarly we can use the other two expressions to find y. With y we have this one, so y equals to, this one goes to the numerator part, so we have c1a2 minus c2a1 whole thing by a1b2 minus a2b1. So we get x equals to this and y equals to this. So this is the process of cross multiplication to find the variable values x and y. Okay, so let's see some questions. Now here we have two equations. We are just going to write it in those two forms. First, with all the terms on the left hand side, the first equation is already in that form, 3x minus 7y plus 10 equals to 0. And the second one, we are going to write it in that form. That means y to be written, okay, y minus 2x equals to 3. This is our equation number 1. And the second one, we have to rearrange minus 2x first, then plus y, 3 comes to the left side, minus 3 equals to 0. So this is our second equation. Now we have our two equations in the required format. Okay, so the next step is to write the coefficients x, y and 1. So the process is to start with the middle one. So b1 is minus 7. Be careful to choose the sign also. b1 is minus 7, c is 10, c1 and a1. b1, c1, a1, again b1. Okay, and in the second equation we have b1 plus 1, b2 is plus 1, c2 is minus 3, a2 is minus 2 and again plus 1. So be careful when you are writing the coefficients. Many students tend to make error in this process. Okay, so we're just going to draw a single line here. So b1 is minus 7, c1 is 10, a1 is 3 and b1 again minus 7. In the second one we have b1 plus 1, b2 plus 1, c2 minus 3, a2 minus 2 and b2 plus. Let's just check again. Minus 7, 10, 3 minus 7. Okay, and the second one is 1 minus 3 minus 2, 1. So we have written all the coefficients in our required format. Then we need to cross multiply the terms. Okay, first downward and then minus the upward one, downward minus upward. Okay, so we have x by, so minus 7 into minus 3 minus then 1 into 10. I'm writing all the steps for the first time. Y upon 10 into minus 2 minus in the upward direction minus 3 into 3. Okay, Don't get confused with all these coefficients while you're writing. 3 into 1, then upward direction minus 2 into minus 7. So when you have completed those steps, that's it. You have found your answer almost. So that's now. We choose the first and the third one. Okay, let's write it again. We have 21 minus 10 equals to y upon minus 20 minus into minus plus 9 equals to 1 upon 3 and then minus 2 into minus 7, 14. So that's x upon 21 minus 10 is 11 equals to y upon minus 20 plus 9, we get minus 11 equals to 1 on 3 minus 14 is minus 11. Okay, so now we choose the first and third to find x. X equals to x by 11 equals to 1 by minus 11. That's x equals to 11 by minus 11 and minus 1. So x equals to minus 1. And from the other two expressions we have y by minus 11, 1 by minus 11. So y equals to minus 11 by minus 11 and hence y equals to 1. Okay, so that's the solution for the given equations. X equals to minus 1 and y equals to 1. If you want to verify whether your answers are correct, x equals to minus 1 and y equals to 1, just you need to put the values in place of x. If I get minus 1 and y 1, the left hand side should be equal to the right hand side. Okay, so 3 into minus 1, minus 3 and minus 7. So minus 3 minus 7 minus 10 plus 10, 0. So our solution is right for the first equation. And second one, this is 1 and minus 1. So 1 minus 1 into minus 2 minus plus 2. So 1 plus 2 is 3. So the second equation also holds true for our solution. So our solution x equals to minus 1 and y equals to 1 is correct. Just one more example for cross multiplication method. Let's write the equations first in the required format. X minus y, this whole thing will take it to the left hand side. Sorry, that's minus a plus b equals to 0. Okay, this is the first equation, and the second one is ax plus by, and then bringing the whole term to the left side, we have minus a square minus b square equals to 0. Now writing it in that format, x, y, 1. So from the first equation we have minus 1, this is c1, and then a is 1. Okay, so we have minus 1, c1 is minus of a plus b, then a1 is 1 and again b1 is minus 1. Okay, minus 1 minus of a plus b, 1 minus 1, this is minus of a plus b. So now we have written the coefficients of the first one, then the second one. Here we have b, then we have this whole thing. So we have b minus of this, minus of a square minus b square, then we have a, and then we have again b. Then cross multiplying, we have x upon minus 1 into this. Okay, so minus into minus plus, so you have a square minus b square minus the upward direction, so b into this, so we have minus b into, then again we have minus here. Okay, let's write it, minus of a plus b. Okay, downward direction first, that's minus of a plus b into a, then minus upward direction, that's okay, we're multiplying, minus of a square minus b square into 1. Okay, and then we have the constant term 1 upon downward direction first, 1 into b is b, minus, we have a into minus 1 is minus a. Okay, now we have x upon a square minus b square. Now minus into minus plus, if you open the bracket, you have b into a plus b, b into a plus b equals to y upon, you have minus and this, so you have minus a plus b into a, then we have minus into minus plus, a square minus b square into 1 is the same thing, so 1 by b plus a, that's a plus b only. Okay, now that's choose the first and the last one, x by a square minus b square plus b into a plus b equals to 1 by a plus b. That's x equals to, in place of a square plus minus b square, we can write a plus b into a minus b plus b into a plus b divided by, you see the denominator goes to the numerator and we have a plus b. So that's a plus b, if we take common, in the first expression we have a minus b, and here we have b, whole thing upon a plus b. We can cancel a plus b from the numerator and the denominator, so we have a minus b plus b. If you open the bracket, we have this, so x equals to a. Similarly, solving for y, I get y by minus of a plus b into a plus, instead of writing a square minus b square, I am writing a plus b into a minus b equals to 1 by a plus b. So y equals to This whole thing goes to the numerator. Minus of a plus b into a plus a plus b into a minus b upon a plus b. So again taking a plus b common. In the first expression we have minus into a, so minus a, and then in the second expression we have a minus b, so plus a minus b. Again a plus b gets cancelled, so we have minus a, opening the bracket, plus a minus b, so that's minus b. So y equals to minus b. The solutions are x equals to a and y equals to minus b. This looks a lot of work to do when you apply cross multiplication method, but in my opinion this is the simplest one. If you do a bit of practice, it will be much easier to calculate with this cross multiplication method. That's all for now in this class. In the next class we are going to solve some questions that are reducible to the linear equation in two variables normal format, so equations with reducible forms. Till then, keep working and keep practicing. Thank you. See you in the next class.